Welcome to Nature Walk, the podcast where we delve into the fascinating world of wildlife and conservation. I'm your host, David, and today we're going to talk about a rather unusual and intriguing story that's been making headlines in the world of wildlife trafficking. As we take our first steps on this journey, let's set the scene, the sun-kissed savannas of Africa, where the sounds of nature fill the air and the beauty of the wild is on full display. But amidst this breathtaking landscape, a different kind of story has been unfolding. One that involves a lucrative trade in a tiny, yet highly sought-after creature, the ant. Yes, you heard that right, ants. These tiny insects, often overlooked and underappreciated, have become a hot commodity in the world of wildlife trafficking. Our story begins at Nairobi's International Airport, where a Chinese national, Zhang Kekun, was arrested on March 10th with over 200 ants in his luggage, destined for China. The ants, mostly prized mesocephalotes, were found in test tubes and were valued at around $100 each. This may seem like a small sum, but when you consider the sheer number of ants involved, it's clear that this is a lucrative trade. As we dig deeper into this story, we find that Zhang Kekun was not acting alone. He had purchased the ants from a Kenyan national, Charles Mwangi, who has also been charged in connection with the case. And this is not an isolated incident. Last year, 2 Belgian teenagers were arrested with nearly 5,000 ants, mostly stored in small test tubes. The judge in the case, Irene Kachobi, described Zhang as lacking in remorse and not an entirely honest person. She handed down a 1-year jail sentence and a fine of $7,700, citing the need for a stiff deterrent sentence to combat the rising cases of dealing in large quantities of garden ants and their negative ecological side effects. As we consider this story, it's worth asking ourselves, what drives the demand for these tiny creatures? Is it the thrill of collecting something rare and exotic, or is there something more sinister at play? Whatever the reason, it's clear that the trade in ants has serious consequences for the environment and the delicate ecosystems that these insects inhabit. As we continue on our journey through the natural world, we'll be exploring more stories like this one, stories that highlight the complexities and challenges of conservation and the often surprising ways in which humans interact with the wild. So join us next time on Nature Walk as we venture into the fascinating world of wildlife and conservation. We'll be right back with more fascinating stories from the natural world on Nature Walk. Welcome back to Nature Walk. As we continue on our journey through the fascinating world of science and nature, we're going to take a closer look at something that's often overlooked, yet incredibly revealing, our breath. Yes, you heard that right, our breath. The air we exhale can tell us a lot about what's going on inside our bodies, particularly in our gut. You see, our gut is home to a diverse community of microbes, including bacteria, archaea, and fungi. These microorganisms play a crucial role in breaking down the food we eat, producing compounds that our body uses, and even influencing our overall health. But sometimes, an overgrowth of certain bacteria can lead to problems like small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, or SIBO. Now, doctors have developed a way to test for SIBO by measuring gases like hydrogen and methane in the breath. It's a bit of a process. Patients need to follow a specific diet, fast overnight, and then blow into a breathalyzer machine at regular intervals after consuming a sugar solution. But this test can help determine if a patient's gas levels are out of whack. What's even more intriguing is that scientists have discovered that the volatile organic compounds in our breath can serve as signatures of specific gut microbes. Think of it like a unique perfume that each microbe produces. By analyzing these compounds, researchers may be able to identify which microbes are present in our gut and even detect diseases like asthma. In fact, a recent study found that children with asthma had distinct breath compound signatures compared to those without the disease. The researchers were able to tie these signatures to the presence of a specific bacterium linked to pediatric asthma. It's still early days for this research, but the potential is vast. Imagine being able to diagnose diseases or detect infections simply by analyzing a person's breath. As we continue to explore the complex relationships between our microbiome, our health, and our environment, we're reminded of just how intricate and fascinating the natural world really is. And who knows? Maybe one day we'll be using breath analyzers as a routine tool for monitoring our health and detecting diseases early on. Welcome back to Nature Walk, where we explore the wonders of our planet and meet the people who are working tirelessly to protect it. Today, we're going on a journey to the mangrove forests of South Florida, where one man has dedicated himself to picking up trash and making a difference. Imagine walking through a dense thicket of mangrove trees, their tangled roots stretching out like giant fingers, and the sound of water lapping against the shore. It's a place of breathtaking beauty, but also of alarming neglect. The mangroves are often choked with trash, from plastic bottles to old engines, and it's here that our story begins. Meet Andrew Otazo, a Miami native who has spent years exploring these swampy ecosystems. As a child, he was fascinated by the mangroves' unique landscape, with their arching prop roots that seemed to walk across the water. But when he returned to Miami after college, he was heartbroken to find the mangroves filled with trash. Otazo's girlfriend challenged him to do something about it, and at first, he thought it was a lost cause. But then he started picking up trash, and 10 years later, he's removed an astonishing 43,000 pounds of waste from the mangroves. From rusty engines to old tires, mattresses, and even underwear, Otazo has seen it all. As we join him on his mission, we see the impact that one person can have. With his trash picker in hand and a black garbage bag slung over his shoulder, Otazo navigates the dense undergrowth, pulling out debris that's been hidden for years. It's backbreaking work, but he's driven by a passion to protect these incredible ecosystems. Otazo's efforts haven't gone unnoticed. He posts videos of his adventures on social media, hoping to inspire others to join him in his quest. And it's not just about picking up trash, it's about raising awareness about the importance of preserving our natural world. As we walk with Otazo through the mangroves, we see the beauty and the ugliness side by side. We hear the sounds of birds singing and water flowing, but also the rustling of plastic bags and the creaking of old wooden planks. It's a reminder that even in the most pristine environments, human neglect can have a profound impact. But Otazo's story is also one of hope. By taking action, he's showing us that we all have the power to make a difference. As he says, "I'm not going to just sit back and do nothing. I'm going to do something, at the very least." And that's a message that resonates with all of us. As we conclude our journey through the mangroves, we're reminded of the importance of preserving these unique ecosystems. The work of people like Andrew Otazo is a testament to the human spirit and a reminder that even in the face of overwhelming challenges, we can all make a difference. That's all for today's Nature Walk. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and until next time, keep exploring your natural world.